All right, so we're gonna get started, man. I don't want to waste too much more time. What's up, Jay Sean? I don't want to waste too much more time. But we're gonna talk about shelf corps and trade lines. So, first of all, shelf corps. Does anybody know what a shelf corp is? Does anybody know how to use a shelf corp? I like to see what kind of information the people in the group have, because I'm always looking to see if we can work with somebody. Because I'm trying to make, I say it all the time. I'm trying to make $1 million a month. I just did my goals. I'm looking at 50 mil a month. That's what I'm trying to, that's what I'm working up to. I mean, not 50 mil a month, 50 mil a year, $50 million a year. We're trying to start off with $1 million a month. So 12 mil a year is not bad. We ain't nowhere close yet, but we're gonna get there sooner or later. Sooner than later. Definitely. So anybody know anything about shelf corps and trade lines? When trade lines, when I say trade lines, I'm talking about authorized users, AUs. What's up, Keith? Businesses you can buy that are already established. Yep, that's what it is. That's all it is. That's all the shelf corp is. So I get people all the time, they ask me what's a shelf corp, but shelf corp is just an LLC. Like, you can go and start your own shelf corp today. You just go wherever your Secretary of State at. You can actually go to Florida, and I think in Florida it's like $70 if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually probably gonna set up an LLC in Florida tomorrow maybe. But you get an LLC. It's just, you set it up correctly at first, and then you just let it sit down. You just put it on a shelf. It's a shelf corp. So you essentially you just make an LLC, and you don't really do anything with it. But once that thing gets a little older, then you can sell it and make a nice bit of money off of it. So a lot of people don't want you to use shelf corps. A lot of people want you to have your own LLC from the beginning, but some people will frown upon it. Some people will, like some banks won't do business with you if you got a shelf corp. But there are a lot of places that will do it. And, if you just think about it, if you had a mom or a dad that had an LLC that was, they started back in 98, 99 or something like that, and then they just didn't really do nothing with it the whole time, but they keep it up to date, they pay the taxes on it, they're like, man, one day I'm going to do something, one day I'm going to do something, and then they don't, it's still considered a shelf corp. So if that person passes it down to you, then, people can't look bad at you for that. So, people look down on shelf corps, but shelf corps can be used for a whole bunch of different things. So first of all, when you're trying to get money from banks, typically they don't want you to have a brand new LLC, because if your company is brand new, you look high risk to them. It looks like, typically businesses are going to stay open for like no more than 2 to 5 years. So if you have an LLC that's already over 2 years old, then they kind of that's the threshold. They kind of look at it like you're a little more established than a brand new person. So instead of you going and start a brand new LLC tonight, you go and buy a shelf corp instead. So now instead of you having a brand new LLC, now you got a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old LLC. And we sell shelf corps too, so we go all the way up to 20 years old. So you can buy a 20-year-old LLC tonight, tomorrow, and be well on your way to getting some money. So one of the things about shelf corps too is when you go to banks is where typically where a lot of people are going to try to get money from. You can also build business credit for your shelf corp as well. But if you go to the banks with a shelf corp, they won't give you. If you go to the banks with a new LLC, anything under 2 years old, they will not give you a line of credit. Typically, your business needs to be at least 2 years old first before you can get a line of credit from the banks. So instead of if you start your LLC today, now you got to wait 2 years before you can get lines of credit. But you can get business credit cards. If your business is new, you can still get business credit cards, but as long as you have personal credit cards first. And I'm going to tell you how to get business credit cards too. But with the with the business lines of credit, your business needs to be at least 2 years old. So anything less than that, you're gonna get credit cards instead. But nothing's wrong with credit cards. We help people to get credit cards too, personal and business credit cards, and they're great. You can use it for whatever you want, real estate, e-commerce, trucking, anything. You use it for whatever you want. But when you have an older LLC, now you open yourself up to more opportunities and more funding. Even when you're building business credit, like some people on YouTube is gonna say, get your LLC tonight, go get Quill, Uline, Granger tomorrow. When really, let me turn this volume off real quick. My phone started cutting up. But yeah, so they'll tell you start your LLC tonight, and then tomorrow go get Uline, Quill, Granger, and all these people. But really, when you look at their requirements for these business credit people, some people want you to be at least 60 days old. So you can't go and start your LLC tonight and then go apply for whatever you want tomorrow. Some of these people have criteria. Well, a lot of these people have criteria. There's tier 1 accounts, tier 2, 3, and 4 accounts. So when you build a business credit, so you can't just go to start your LLC tonight and just go straight to tier 4. You got to start from the bottom. Your business is not, your business doesn't have any credit yet, so people can't give you money. So, you got to start from the bottom. But when you get your Shelf Corp, now you have a 2-year-old LLC, so you can start from the bottom, but they'll give you more. Typically, they'll give you maybe a little bit more money. And then when you go and get your lines of credit from the banks, they're going to give you, the older your business is, sometimes they'll give you more money. Sometimes they'll give you better terms just because your business is older, because they feel like you're more established. But, typically what people do with Shelf Corps, they'll get a Shelf Corp today, go out and get funding tomorrow. And some people don't like that because they feel like you're cutting corners in business. And to me, it seems like they just want everything to be hard for no reason when it really doesn't have to be. So like I said, we sell Shelf Corps. I'm okay with Shelf Corps, but some people are not. And I'm gonna tell you how to go get the lines of credit from the banks. But Tradlines is the next thing. Who knows anything about Tradlines? Authorized users. Personal Tradlines. And let me know if my audio good too, because I know sometimes I'll be on here and I'll be talking and my audio will be bad. Can y'all hear me? So Tradlines are personal credit cards. There's specific personal credit cards that you can get that you can use as Tradlines, so authorized users. What you can do with those is add people as an authorized user to your credit. It's not going to touch your credit at all. It's not going to hurt your credit. It's actually going to build their credit up. So whenever you put them as an authorized user on your card, you can put it to where they don't get a card, they don't have access to any money. So that way, once they're added to your card, they get the positive payment history. They get the limit that's on it, and they get the age that's on it. So once you add them to that credit card, then their credit score is going to go up, and then they can go out and get their own credit cards, their own loans, their lines of credit, and stuff like that. And then after that, you just take them off the card. But with some cards, they're a lot like American Express, for instance. American Express will let you add up to 99 people as an authorized user, so you can charge whatever you want. Typically, people will charge like $500 to $600 at the lowest, but if you add them to that card, they're not going to get the age of your American Express. So if it's 20 years old, they're not going to get the age. They're just going to get the limit on their credit report. So some cards have different features and different positives and negatives about them. And American Express is bad for if you're trying to get somebody with age. Now, what I always say is get 2 Tradlines. You want to get 2 because one can be your super high limit. The other one can be a super long age. So that way, now you got 2 of them. But what you do with the Tradlines, if your credit is new, so typically, what happens with people when they come to us is we'll fix their credit, and if they don't have any Tradlines, then we'll help them to get the positive accounts on their credit first. Because a lot of people, we think we can just go through life just paying cash only, but it don't really work like that. If you really want to move forward in life fast, I consider it a shortcut. You use other people's money, and to get other people's money, you have to have credit or you have to have business credit. It's the only way to do it. Unless you got unless you got a good plan, you got a good idea, like you're in real estate or something, and you find good properties, then other people are going to put their money in with you. But typically, if you're trying to work by yourself, then you need to have either good credit or business credit to do it. So with your Tradlines, first you add the positive accounts on your credit. If you need positive accounts, I put like 6 or 7 of them. I think they're in the feature section of the group. If not, y'all let me know, and I'm gonna post it in the group. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just post it anyway. But it's going to have 5 or 6 different accounts on there. You can build your credit up with that, because typically when you're going to get funding, the banks want to see like 8 to 10 accounts on your credit. You might be able to get away with it with like 4 to 6, but 8 to 10 is where you really want to be at. So if you have, a credit card, a credit card, a car, and like, some little small limit credit cards, that's not really good enough. You can get some funding, but they're not going to give you as much. So you want to add a few positive accounts as well. So those positive accounts that I'm gonna put in the group, less than $100 a month, you can be building your credit up really good, really good. And like two of the accounts you're gonna put on there, they can be 5-year-old accounts, so they're not even brand new accounts. So they're not gonna drop your age of your credit, nothing like that. Instead of them open up as a brand new account, it's gonna open up as a 5-year-old account if you wanted to. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 years old, and it'll have good positive payment history for the whole time. So like it's really gonna help out a lot. So for people who don't have credit already established, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go get those accounts, less than $100 a month. You're building your credit up. You got a strong credit profile, and then you can go get funding after that. But instead of going straight to get funding, put a trade line on your credit first, because now you have positive accounts, but your limits might still be low. So when you get a trade line, you can get a $10, $15, $20,000 credit card and put that on your credit. And then after you got that $20,000 credit card, you can put another one if you want. But you want to put something. You want to have decent age. 5 years old is the least amount of age that you want to have on your credit profile. So when I say 5 years old, I mean like the overall. Whenever you look at credit age, like on Credit Karma or something like that, it's going to show you an overall number for you, the age of your credit. So what you want to do is make sure that number is over 5 years. So that could be a mixture. Like I mentioned, two of the accounts that you're going to get is going to open up as 5-year-old accounts. The other ones that you get on that list is going to be brand new accounts. So they're going to average it out. So now it's not 5 years old as the oldest account. I mean, your credit age is going to say like maybe 3 or 4 years old, because you got a whole bunch of new accounts and you have some older accounts. So what you want to do is add those trade lines, add those authorized users to your credit, and build. That's going to make your age older, and then you can go and get funded after that. I hope y'all following me. I know I talk kind of fast, so let me know if y'all need me to slow down. But with the authorized users, you're gonna, this is a whole business. I'm gonna break down the business for you real quick. But with the authorized users, add them on your credit is gonna give you the age, and plus, once you have that limit on there, now you have the positive accounts as well. Now, when you try to go and get funding, which could be personal or business credit cards, typically when you're going to get personal credit cards, it's going to help. When you get business credit cards, it doesn't really help as much. It helps with the age of the account, but not the limit. So you want to use trade lines and authorized users if you're using them for yourself to get personal credit cards. That's what is going to help out the most. So if you have like a $500 credit card in your credit, $200 credit card, these people are not going to give you $10,000 cards, because you've only been able to show that you can manage $500 and $200. But when you put that bigger account on that, at $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 credit card, now they feel like they can trust you a little bit more. Now you look a little more responsible to them whenever you're trying to get funding. So they might give you, if you got a $20,000 card on there, they might give you $10,000, $15,000, maybe $20,000, because now you have higher limits. Whereas if you go to them with a $500 card or a $200 card, they might give you $1,000. I hope that makes sense. All right, so with your, the trade line business, I'm gonna break it down real fast, and I'm gonna get, I'm gonna be doing some mini courses on this. I'm probably gonna be going live like every single day for the next 2 weeks. I didn't post it because I'm not sure. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to make a lot of money right now, so my days is like super short. I'm so far behind on work right now. But anyway, the trade line business. So there's specific credit cards that you can get where you can add people as authorized users on your card. Like I said, these people do not get access to a card. They don't get any money from you. They can't use the card. It just boosts their credit up for a certain amount of time. Really, 60 days is how long you want to leave them on there. So that's going to boost their credit up for about 90 days if you take them off at 60. And then during that 90 days, that's when they're going to go out and get their own personal credit cards or their own loans or their own whatever they're going to get, because it's going to boost their score up. So once you add them on there, there's specific ways to do it. Like, I can't go over all of it in this live because it's really like a little mini course, and I'm gonna do a mini course on it as well to go pretty much break down the whole business for you. But I just can't go through all of it on a live. It's gonna take too long. But with the trade lines and the shelf corps, there's two things that's gonna help you to get a lot of money in the future. So with the trade lines, I'm gonna go back to that real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all go because I ain't gonna stay on here too long. But with the shelf corps, so when you get your shelf corp, you can go to these banks. What you want to do is call up the banks and see what type of business lines of credit they're giving. So when you have your shelf corp, like I said, a lot of people look down on this. So you're not gonna say, hey, I got a shelf corp. You're gonna say, I have this LLC that's this years old, how many years it is, and then all your information's on there. The EIN number of the shelf corp is what. Now, when y'all start talking to people, everybody gonna have different ideas of what shelf corps are. So all you need to do is explain when you're talking to regular people, not to these banks. Just tell them the shelf corp is an LLC. It's just an older LLC. And they're gonna say, well, when you bought the shelf corp, didn't it change? Didn't the age change? But no, it doesn't work like that. So with your shelf corp, you have an EIN number, and when that EIN number is established, that's your business's social security number. So just like you have a social, if you were to move to another country and change your name, that don't mean that you brand new now. It don't mean that you less than a year old. That just means that you moved over. You change your name. Businesses do the same thing. Businesses change industry. They change names. They change owners. So, if your LLC switches from somebody else to you, that doesn't mean that it's a brand new LLC now. They've been having a EIN number for the last 5 years. They had a social for the last 5 years. So it's still a 5-year-old LLC. It's just new to you. So it's not going to be a brand new LLC like some people say. But when you have your shelf corp, you call up these banks. Typically, you want to go to credit unions first. So you call up the credit unions. You're going to ask them, what's your no doc business lines of credit? What's the maximum amount that I can get? Then you want to ask them, which bureau do they pull? You want to ask them, what's the maximum amount you can get? What's the maximum income you can have before they start asking for income documents? And what income documents are, the reason why you're asking for no doc program is because there's going to be stated income. There's banks that still do stated income lines of credit right now. So stated income means that whatever amount you state, that's the amount that they're going to put on paper. They're not going to verify it unless you go over a certain amount. And typically that's going to be like $250. So if you state that your business is making $250 or less a year, I would really say like $258. If you're going to say that, if you say your business is making $248 a year or can make $248 a year, then they're not going to ask you for no income documents. And there's some banks right now that's giving out $100,000 lines of credit. So you go over there with your shelf corp, your 2-year-old or older LLC. You walk in there with your good credit. You need at least a 600 credit score. No negatives on your credit. No late payments. And if you do have that stuff, you need to remove it first, because if you do get approved, it's going to drastically reduce the amount of money that you're going to get, or you're just going to get denied. So you don't want to waste no time. Just clean your credit first. It's better just to have no negatives on that. Just clean your credit first and then go over that. So even if you got the LLC, even if you have the shelf corp doesn't have credit either. It's just an LLC. So you can build business credit for it. But when you go into these banks, these people need to see that you're responsible some type of way. On paper, they got to see that you can manage money. Either you need to manage money good or your business. So if your business doesn't have credit, then they have to look at your credit. And if you don't have credit and your business don't have credit, they don't trust you. So you need to have your personal credit up good first, and then you want to go to these banks. You don't need business credit for this. But if you do have it, it's better. You have better terms. They might give you more money. You have better rates. So you want to go to these banks, like I said. What's your business? What's your maximum amount of money I can get with your business lines of credit? No doc business lines of credit. Ask them which credit bureaus they pull, and then you want to ask them what's the maximum amount of money that you can make without them asking for income documents. Those questions is all you really need to know. After you do that, then you should be able to get some money from the banks. And it's a sequence. So you find one bank that pulls Experian, find one that pulls TransUnion, find one that pulls Equifax, and you'll get a line of credit with each one of these places. You're going to open an account with them first. Once you go over that, so you're going to go to these places, open an account with them. You want to put, if the minimum is $100, you want to put $50 in a checking account, $50 in a savings account, and you open that account. And before you leave, if you got good credit, these people are going to ask you if you want the money. You don't even have to ask them. But now, since you call them ahead of time, now you know what their no-doc programs are. So when you call them and they say they know their maximum amount is $25,000, then whenever they say, well, how much money do you want? Now you can say, well, I want to see if I can get about $23,000, $24,000, $25,000. You're not gonna say, I want to get $50,000. Because then once you say that, now you got to provide income documents. So you pretty much, you got a game plan before you even go in there. You got the cheat sheet before you even go into the banks. Pretty much. So people say banks not giving out money. The banks are giving out money. You just got to have your business set up correctly. And I talk about it all the time in my business credit videos. You got to have your business set up correctly. And then you also need to have your credit set up correctly. If you don't have business credit already, they got to look at your personal credit. And like I said, Tradlines authorized users can be used for your personal credit. That's what you're going to use to build up your personal credit so that you can get either high limit personal credit cards or loans or whatever else you want to do. But it's going to boost your score up to where you can go ahead and get something if you don't have, if your score is not high enough yet. Tradlines can boost your credit up super, super fast. So that's how you can use them. Does anybody have any questions? Because if not, I'm going to let y'all go. I got to get back to work. If y'all got some questions, man, I'm always looking to always put somebody on live if y'all want. I see everybody be scared. I know y'all be scared, but if that's what y'all want, I'll bring y'all on live too. What's up, Top Son? But if y'all got some questions, let me know. If not, I'm gonna let y'all go. Quick live. We just talk about shelf corps and Tradlines and how you can use them. If y'all need either one of them, y'all can give me a call. Y'all can book a call with me. Y'all can DM me or reach out to me, and I'm gonna give y'all. We got Tradlines in our company, so we got Tradlines authorized users. If you want to build your credit up and get personal credit cards, we have those Tradlines. If you got, if you're trying to get an older LLC, if you don't want to start a brand new LLC, if you're trying to get lines of credit from the banks, then we have shelf corps too, so we can get you the shelf corps as well. But if y'all interested in either one of those, y'all let me know. Well, look, I appreciate y'all time. I am going to be going live like probably every day for the next 2 weeks. Probably until next weekend. I'm going to probably go live every day. I'm going to try to. What's up, Chris? But yeah, I'm going to try to go live every day for the next 2 weeks probably. Well, until next weekend. Next weekend. And then we're going to do some mini courses after that. So I'm going to go into depth. I'm going to go into detail on these funding, how you get the funding from the banks, how you fix your personal credit, how you build business credit, how you start your trade line business, how you do your credit repair business. 5 different businesses. I'm going to give you 5 different lines of credit, 5 different streams of income. In these mini courses. After these next 2 weeks, that's what we're going to do next. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be, you're going to have to take a pencil. It's going to be fast. I don't have I can't take forever on doing it. It's not a full course. It's just a mini course. So you need to have your paper and pencil available because it's going to be a lot of information. Chris, we was talking about Tradlines and shelf corps, man. Do you know anything about those? Chris, I'm going to have to give you a call too, man. We got to meet up. But I had to shut off my IG, so I think I'm gonna just go live on IG real quick, and then I'm gonna get back to work for the night. But if anybody got any questions, all right. Well, I appreciate y'all time. Y'all, we're going to be going live almost every day. I'm not going to post it every day because I'll be super busy and I don't want to, promise something I can't do. But I'm going to be trying to go live every day for the next almost 2 weeks now. But if y'all got some questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime. Schedule a call with me. Shoot me a DM. Ask any questions you want in the group. That's what it's made for. I want y'all to network, communicate with each other. Y'all don't know, man. They got so many people in the group that does so many different things. Somebody has something that's good for your business. You can work with somebody that's in the group to bring yourself to the next level. So I want y'all to communicate in the group. It's like a community type thing. I don't want y'all to be like y'all just, I want everybody to kind of communicate with each other because everybody got big goals, but sometimes the other person that's in the group is the missing piece that you need, or you the missing piece that they need for y'all to both level up. But I appreciate y'all time, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.